The Fantasy Football Fix Awards 2015 are brought to you in association with Fantastic Storytelling,
a brand new card game where the aim of the game is to tell hilarious, original stories. Anywhere from 2 to 8 players can take part, or you could pair up and play in teams.
I'm not playing with anybody else.
The rules are simple. Each player takes 5 connector cards and then keeps them to themselves. Choose a player to go first, and then that player takes a story card. And they then have to lay the cards in the order that they're listed.
Once upon a time, Kim Jong-un masturbated furiously.
The player can then make their story longer using the connector cards in their hand.
And then smelled.
Each time they lay a connector, they can choose one more card from the event, character, or thing piles.
A bucket of delicious popcorn.
So long as the story makes sense, you get the same amount of points as the number of cards you laid.
Yeah, 6 points.
It's then the next player's turn to draw a story card.
Michael Jackson, your dad fell in love.
Sometimes your story won't make sense, but you have to use your connector cards wisely to make a coherent, albeit crazy, story.
I can't go.
If a player can't lay their connectors so that the story makes sense, then the next player can steal their points.
Okay, Michael Jackson and your dad fell in love. Oh, sweet. When Emma Watson kicked a dog in the face. Well, that seems cruel.
If you think that fantastic storytelling looks like a fun game, then you can back the project right now on Kickstarter. There are various tiers with rewards including the full downloadable game, the physical game itself, add-on packs, and even the chance to name your very own fantastic storytelling card that will be included in the final deck. Thanks for watching, and I hope I piqued your interest, and if you've got any comments or questions, let me know below, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter, right about here. Cheers guys!
Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Fix Awards. I am Richard from the DipsyDudes, and we are here to honour the best and shame the worst of this season's Fantasy Premier League. We've got 6 awards to give away tonight, all of which have been voted for by you. So if you voted, thank you very much. These awards are a big deal. That's why I'm wearing my best clobber. But I tell you what, I could talk about my fashion sense all day. Let's get straight onto it with our first award. Which fresh face has made the most impact in this season's Fantasy Premier League? This award is open to any player who has never played in the Fantasy Premier League before, which is why even though Harry Kane had a lot of write-in votes, he is not eligible because he played last season and the season before. However, these players qualify. These are the top 5 as voted for by you. Fraser Forster, Southampton, 4%. Signing from Celtic for around £10 million, the England stopper grabbed 13 clean sheets on his way to getting 118 points before injury ended his season early. Graziano Pella, Southampton, 6%. Another new signing from the Saints, who had an electric start and a strong finish to the season. He could have gone even higher if it wasn't for that mid-season slump. Diego Costa, Chelsea, 14%. The only thing that stopped this striker from scoring more this season was injury. When he did play, he averaged nearly a goal every 100 minutes played. He'll be back for more next season. Alexis Sanchez, Arsenal, 26%. The Gunners' big summer signing hit the ground running by getting over 200 points, making him one of the highest point scorers in the game in his first season, and a must-have player for all. And the out-of-nowhere best newcomer of the season is Charlie Austin, Queen's Park Rangers. Managing to get over 47% of the voting, this English striker had a phenomenal season and carried Rangers on his back for most of it. After getting his first goal of the season against Sunderland in game week 3, the Englishman never looked back. How good was he this year? Well, despite being in a relegated team, he still managed to get into the overall Fantasy Premier League Dream Team. A huge congratulations to Charlie Austin. Hopefully he'll be staying in the Premier League. No doubt there'll be dozens of teams after him in the summer. But the awards keep coming here at the Fantasy Football Fix Awards, because it's time for our next awards, and it's one of my personal favourites. Is there anything better in Fantasy Premier League than your budget buy getting you big, sexy points all year round? Following in the footsteps from the likes of Benny McCarthy at Blackburn, Charlie Adams at Blackpool, or Luke Shaw at Southampton. These players went from bench players to first choice captains. Here's your top 3 players as voted for by you. Why only 3 this time? Because this one was a landslide. Ryan Bertrand, Southampton, 2%. A Champions League winner with his parent club Chelsea, this loanee has become an integral part of a fantastic Spurs defence and always seems to be grabbing bonus points, which made him a must-have for the season. Charlie Austin, Queen's Park Rangers, 7%. What more can you say? A big-time goal scorer for £6 million who didn't have him in their team at some point. And the winner for the bargain of the season is Harry Kane, Tottenham Hotspurs. This was a landslide victory for the England international striker, getting 78% of the vote. He started off the season on the bench, but after impressing in Europe, he got his first goal of the season coming off the bench against Villa, and from then he was the #1 choice at the Lane. At one point you could get him for as little as 4.8 million, but after 20 goals, 7 assists and over 20 bonus points, his value skyrocketed to a season high 6.5. A stunning year. Will Kane be able to continue that next year, or will defences have sussed him out by then? One thing's for sure, you're not going to get him at a cheap price next year. I'm guessing around, what, 8.5 to 9 million for the Englishman, I would say. But money doesn't always guarantee you success, as the nominees in this next award will be testament to. These men all came with big reputations and had them ruined over the course of the season. These are your top 5 you wished you never had, as voted for by you. Daniel Sturridge, Liverpool, 2%. Our first right-in nominee to make the list, it was a season to forget for this pacey attacker. After grabbing 22 goals and 197 points last year, he only managed 4 goals in 700 minutes due to injury this year. Yaya Toure, Manchester City, 8%. This season will go down as the midfielder's worst FPL season ever. 20 goals and 241 points last year, you'd have thought for more of the same, but the £11 million Ivorian looked like he couldn't be bothered after coming back from the African Cup of Nations. He didn't deserve his cake this year. Angel Di Maria, Manchester United, 14%. When United signed him 3 game weeks into the season, it looked like a coup and managers rushed to him for only £9.5 million. But for the first few weeks it was great. 3 goals, 4 assists and 7 bonus points in his first 6 games. And then that was it. The rest of the season saw him struggling before losing his place in the United side to Ashley Young. Radamel Falcao, Manchester United, 24%. Much like Di Maria, this signing was heralded as a game changer, with the Colombian coming in with a huge reputation which saw him valued at 11 million. But since having an injury-ravaged season at Monaco, he just wasn't the same man that destroyed Chelsea in the 2012 Super Cup. Mostly used as a sub throughout the season and only managed a handful of goals. And the winner of the floppiest flop who ever flopped Worst Player of the Season award is Mario Balotelli, Liverpool, 48%. What did Brendan Rodgers think was going to happen in the summer when he signed the Italian striker? Some herald it as a bargain, where more astute fans asked, if he's that good, why did AC Milan sell him that cheap? Mario became a walking joke throughout the season, a joke valued at £10 million in the Fantasy Premier League, managing to only get 1 goal and 32 points all season long. A truly deserving winner of that award, but let's get on to more positive things with our next award. This is for those players who've played Fantasy Premier League before without ever truly shining, until this season when they broke through the glass ceiling and became must-have buys. Here are your top 5 as voted for by you. Joint, Adrian, Lucas Fabianski and Nathaniel Klein, 2%. An ever-present in the West Ham goal and their second highest point scorer, this man made the keeper jersey his own. Fabianski left Arsenal get first-team football and came to Swansea to replace the outgoing Vorm and immediately hit the ground running, becoming one of the highest point-scoring keepers in the game today. While Nathaniel Klein established himself as one of the best right-backs in the game, earning a spot in the overall dream team and interest from the likes of Manchester United. Gylfi Sigurdsson, Swansea, 5%. He was the player I tipped at the start of the season to make an impact, and after returning to Swansea after a disappointing spell at Spurs, recaptured the form he showed at the Liberty Stadium when on loan in 2012. More than doubling his season total for last year with some great attacking play. Ryan Bertrand, Southampton, 6%. Once again finishing higher in the voting than his opposite flank teammate Klein, Bertrand had his best season and filled the void left by Luke Shaw's departure. Jordan Henderson, Liverpool, 10%. The Liverpool captain-in-waiting had his best year to date by adding goals and more assists to his game. If he continues in this form, he could be winning this award this time next year. And now, to present to you the winner of our Most Improved Player award, we have a special guest. He is the man behind shameful sequels, infomercialism, nerd quest, and now fantastic storytelling. It's Mike J. Mike!
Thanks very much, Rich, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the DipsyDudes to present this award. And the award is for the Most Improved Fantasy Premier League Player of the Season. So, who's it going to be? I don't have an envelope in front of me because they wouldn't give me one because I can't be trusted with paper because I like to cut things. But I have the award winnie. Winnie's not a word, but I have them in my head right now. And the award goes to... Fantastic Storytelling, my brand new card game, now available on Kickstarter if you want to back it and get a copy of the game yourself. How good is that? But seriously, the award for the Most Improved Fantasy Premier League Player of the Season goes to Tottenham's Harry Kane. Well done, Harry Kane. From Tottenham, you've won an award. Go you.
A truly breathtaking season for the Spurs man. He scored 3 goals in 641 minutes in his previous 2 seasons, but this year he pushed aside the likes of Saldano and Adebayor to become the main man in the Spurs attack. Kane managed 7 double-digit game weeks throughout the season and found a place for himself in the overall dream team for the season.
Yes, he's deserved it. If you had him in your team during the latter half of the season, you probably did quite good. I didn't have him, hence why I didn't do quite good. Oh well. Fantastic Storytelling, now available to back on Kickstarter. Cheers guys. Over to you, Rich.
Thank you very much, Mike. Always appreciated. But now it is time for our penultimate award. This award does exactly what it says on the tin. These are the players that started awesomely, everyone put them in their team, and then they just stopped scoring points. Here's a look at your top 5 as voted for by you. Leonardo Ajoa, Leicester City, 9%. 5 goals in his first 5 games made this Fox's striker a must-have, especially for only 5.5 million, but after that rush, he only managed to double his goal tally for the season, and even lost his place in the team before having an end-of-the-season spurt. Romelu Lukaku, Everton, 14%. He's not really pushed on like we thought he would. He scored 6 goals in his first 14 games, but only managed 4 more in the next 20 plus game weeks. And for 9 million, there were always better options. Gylfi Sigurdsson, Swansea, 15%. A victim of his own early season success, maybe? Slowed down a bit after the new year, missed a couple of weeks due to injury, and never hit those heights again, but still keeps ticking those points over. Maybe a little bit harsh to be on the list. Wilfred Boney, Manchester City, 17%. There's a couple of things that didn't help the big man. After scoring 9 goals for Swansea in the first half of the season, he made a big money move to Man City and then went off to the African Cup of Nations. He returned and he couldn't cement a starting place. Maybe next season though. And the winner of the award for the player who started great and then disappeared is Graziano Pella, Southampton, 37%. 6 goals in his first 8 games saw him spearhead Southampton's terrific start to the season, but a run of 14 games without a goal from Boxing Day to April 11th meant that all that early season love faded away. Though he has managed 4 goals in 6 since game week 32, so maybe it's a cause of form is temporary and class is permanent. Okay, we have one more award left and it is a big one. It is a sexy one. It can only be... This one's simple. Who's the must-have man? Who's the player you can't do without? Who is the best of the best? Let's have a look at the top 5 players of the season as voted for by you. Joint, John Terry and Diego Costa, Chelsea, 2%. The 2 Chelsea stalwarts had a huge impact this season. Costa was the goal scorer Chelsea had been waiting years for, while John Terry had a career renaissance, being an ever-present this season, helping his team to 17 clean sheets and chipping in with some big goals. Sergio Aguero, Manchester City, 6%. Man City's standards may have dropped, but the Argentine striker had one of his best seasons ever. His highest goal scoring total for the club, and he did it despite suffering from an injury midway through the season, which just shows that he's a must-have up top. Alexis Sanchez, Arsenal, 13%. Took to Fantasy Premier League like a duck to water, and with his impressive goal-scoring display was a huge midfield point scorer who could get even better in the years to come. Harry Kane, Tottenham, 27%. He's already won 2 awards, but it's second place for the young striker, who was a player you couldn't do without for most of the season. When you look at the ratio of points for price, no one was better in the game than Kane. And the winner of the big, sexy Fantasy Premier League Player of the Season is... Eden Hazard, Chelsea, 48%. Was there ever any doubt? Costa had the goals but suffered injuries. Fabregas had the assists but lost form. But Hazard was the consistent performer for Chelsea and made the difference for the Blues. His highest points total for a Fantasy Premier League season, he had double-digit game weeks in 9 separate weeks this season and can now be talked in the same breath as the likes of Thierry Henry, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard and Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to the best Fantasy Premier League players ever. Right, that's about it for the Fantasy Football Fix Awards. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you like what you see, click like, leave us a comment or hit subscribe to ensure that you get the latest DipsyDudes episodes as soon as they are released. And if you have clicked like, left us a comment or hit subscribe this season, let me just say thank you very much. Even if you've just watched the episodes, thank you very much. Whether you've got in touch with us on Twitter, Facebook, on the fiso.co.uk discussion group, whatever, just thank you very much for being a part of the show. Also, if you entered the DipsyDudes Divisional Championship, thank you for that as well, because I tell you one thing, it was competition of the highest order, and I hope you have enjoyed it. This is officially the last fantasy football fix of the season, but keep checking out the DipsyDudes channel for more content over the summer. Will we be back again next season? Probably, possibly, maybe, more than likely, who knows. But until next time, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck to all you managers going forward. Have a good one.